Hi, everyone. My name is Bruce Lombardo, and today, still at our affiliate location for our shoot, and we'll be painting up some figurines while me and Janet discuss the wonderful movie we just watched for the first time, The Four Musketeers. And for those of you that don't remember last week, we watched the first part of this movie, The Three Musketeers. Both are directed by Richard Lester, the man who also brought us Superman 2 and A Hard Day's Night with the Beatles. This is actually kind of an offshoot of what he wanted to do. He wanted to do a Three Musketeers movie with the Beatles, but that fell apart over time. And then he had his chance to do this movie in 1973, and he grabbed some amazing people to do the work for that. He had Michael York, Oliver Reed, Richard Chamberlain, and Frank Finlay play the named Four Musketeers. Michael York plays D'Artagnan. He's not a musketeer yet in the Three Musketeers. And then you've got Raquel Welch, Christopher Lee, Jean Pierre Cassel, and Roy Kinnear as rounding out the supporting cast. You do have Faye Dunaway in this movie as the villainous Milady, and Sybil Danning makes a small appearance as Eugenie, kind of like a handmaiden. This movie came out in 74, 1 year after they released The Three Musketeers. And this was a film that kind of starts off with just a bang. It comes off hard with action, and it doesn't really let off. It's not the same movie as The Three Musketeers, though. This movie is a lot more dour, a lot more downbeat. You explore the relationships between certain individuals and their exes per se. And I think I think this movie is really good, but I'm not going to rate it the 91 that I rated last week's The Three Musketeers. Janet, go ahead, tell me about this, because this is the first time you've seen it, right?
Yeah, the first time I saw the other one, I'd seen the other Three Musketeers movies, but had never seen it with this uh, actors in it. These actors, and I didn't realize until last week when we watched the other one that they filmed it to make it into two movies, two parts.
They weren't trying to do that at first.
Well,
This
I
is
know they weren't, but the company that was going to distribute it or that was making it said that they wanted to separate it because they didn't want it to be too long and have an intermission because they would thought it would stop people from wanting to go see it and they'd lose money. So I can understand why they ended up doing it, and in a way, after watching it now, I can see why they did it, and I'm glad they did it because the story, the second part especially, had so much in it, details with each of the characters' arc that they had to have more time, to portray it right. So, and I thought they did a really good job, and I thought the second part was very dark, especially with Faye Dunaway's character, because she was so. Because the first part, you see her doing bad things, you see her doing underhanded things to hurt others, and we think it's all for money or greed or jealousy, things like that. And I do think it still has a lot of that in it, except now we understand a little more, detail about why she's evil, why uh, she just hates everything. She hates the world because she blames basically the world for what happened to her and the choices that she made. Because you find out later on that why she has the what do you call that again? Not a tattoo. It's um,
brand.
a brand. Yeah, she was branded for being basically a prostitute. So, and then she
What do
takes
you
advantage.
do when you're branded and you know you're a man?
I don't know. I just thought it was very sad, you know. Got my little hanky, but it was sad. It was heartbreaking. It was a lot about betrayal and broken hearts, and even D'Artagnan does it. I was angry when I saw the previews for this movie, that he supposedly is in love with Raquel Welch's character, yet he's sleeping with other women. So I just have a hard time with that. So I just don't understand that whole aspect of it. I don't see how, if you say you're in love with someone, you can just give yourself to others. It just doesn't make sense to me in my real life. So I have a hard time with dealing with that part of it. I don't like it. That's betrayal. So that's how I looked at it. But what did you think? I mean, I thought the fight scenes were good. I mean, there was a lot more of them, but it seemed like when they would throw each other around and things like that, that things broke easier. Like it was less realistic to me. It was more like theatrical, like you would do on at a play or on Broadway, that type of thing. So those were little things like that took away from the dramatic fight scenes that I thought that I was so impressed with in the first movie. Did you feel the same way?
I didn't feel the same way about that at all.
You did it?
I thought the fight scenes were really well done in this one here. They're both movies have great fight scenes.
Mhm.
This one here, I like the fight scenes a little bit more. The things breaking on getting a 10-pound bump, I'm not really too worried about that because
Yeah.
it kind of served as a visual reminder that things are breakable. And then you also, on the other hand, you've got Oliver Reed, a noted pugilist, and loves to rabble rouse. The guy just loves to throw his bulk around, and he is flinging all of his weight into his sword strikes, into his wild swings, and the guy just doesn't stop. So if something happens to break, like a vase or something else, a glass shatters, I'm okay with it because you have guys like that on stage that the stunt performers from the first movie would draw straws, and the shortest straw gets to fight against Oliver Reed.
Yeah.
You're getting the barrel today, son. I love it.
Hmm.
This is also the first time I saw the use of a glass dagger filled with acid, and that became a staple of future films, like Christopher Lee used a eye patch, and ever since then, Rochefort has always got an eye patch.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting when she first pulled the first one out and you could see the green stuff like moving around. I was like, what is that? I didn't know what it was. And then when she hit the table with it and you heard the sizzling sound of the acid eating away at the wood, I was like, oh my God, that's really cool. So, yeah, I thought it was neat. I thought those were pretty cool when she pulled them out. But it was hard for me to, I don't know, that whole scene kind of fell apart for me because he's supposed to be a musketeer and he's almost killed by a woman, that's using basically a knife with acid in it, and he can't disarm her, like almost like that. To me, I had a hard time with that whole scene. uh and the fact that he's holding a sheet around himself, a blanket, the fact that he's a musketeer, he would be running around pretty much naked to disarm her. That whole scene was really lame for me. I did not enjoy that scene at all. I thought
What
it was
scene?
very unrealistic. The scene in bed with Faye
Oh,
Dunaway,
oh.
because if it was a real musketeer and you just got through laying a woman and then you find out she's the one that has the brand on her arm and who she is, and she's going to kill him, and she pulls out a dagger to stab him, and he doesn't just disarm her real quickly, and he's romping around the room with a blanket holding it up after he just had sex with this woman. I just thought it was sad. I mean, it took away from the actual movie because it was they could have filmed it at an angle where you wouldn't see his privates or whatever, but make it more realistic. I don't know. I just that scene took me out of the grip that I did have on the movie at that part because of it. It was
I
not
think you romanticized the Musketeers a little bit, and
maybe.
I do. I'm not knocking you for that because I mean that's a normal thing, but the Musketeers that I'm used to are the 1993 Musketeers, where they made sure to have a winching scene. And even in the crappy The Musketeer movie from 2001, I saw that the
Yeah.
night before 9/11 with Mina
Mhm.
Savari. That movie there, the carousing was a definite part of the character that the Musketeers did. Like they'll defend your land, they'll defend your block, but after, or maybe even before they get off shift, they're gonna probably grab a wine or a pint. If there's a fight that breaks out, oh look, an open stein of beer. Let me drink this while I parry your thrusts.
Mhm.
And that's they kind of go hand in hand with good alcohol and witty repartee and women with big bodices that are kind of throwing the girls out there. That's
Yeah.
just kind of what the Musketeers
No,
and
I understand that, but the
but
thing is, they're an elite group
they
of
are elite. But
fighters, okay, and they're
can
good at it. That's why
can,
they kick everyone's ass, basically, because they're good at what they do, and he's in a room with a woman by themselves, just them two, okay, and she pulls out a dagger, and she's wearing her nightdress, whatever, and he's naked or whatever, and it wouldn't have hurt, I don't think, to see his bare butt while he disarms her within a few seconds because she's just a woman, and he's a musketeer. I don't know. It just, to me, it just wimped him out a little bit because he was fighting with a woman and he couldn't disarm her. Especially after he realized it was a dagger filled with acid, a glass dagger.
yeah,
And then she pulls out another one, and he basically ended up having to, run out of the room and shut the door. I mean, I don't know. That whole scene ruined it for me.
that scene did not ruin it for me. I liked it, and I like what Six Nations says. In Michael York's defense, a musketeer that has blown his shot needs a moment or two to reload, and I love that. I think that's absolutely
Maybe,
true.
but still, it dropped it down a notch or two for me
He
because
was
it
winded.
took away the valiant I felt for the characters as the Three Musketeers, because now he's just a limp musketeer. You know what I'm saying?
I'm going to be a limp musketeer for the next 20 minutes. You let me rest.
Well, you know what I mean. I just didn't enjoy that one scene. It just took away from me. Now he almost redeemed himself at the very end with the ending when he sees the woman he's madly in love with uh, dead, and
That
he
okay.
wants
When the
revenge.
scene starts, when she walks behind her and puts that garrote around her throat, I thought
Well,
Constance and
it's
her were going to
rosary
have
beads. She
what?
kills her. She's dressed as a nun,
Yeah,
killing her with rosary beads, strangling her with them.
but I thought they would have a little bit more time dedicated to showing that struggle, and instead, Constance just she gets wide eyed, and then within 3 seconds, they've changed scenes, and you don't know there might be still a fight going on there. They might be knocking over dressers and bedposts, and there might be like wrestling on the ground, and dresses might come up. You could see an ankle, and no, instead, when we come back, Constance is dead on the ground, and
Strangled. Yeah,
there
she
goes the
was
nun.
killed.
Yeah,
I was heartbroken over it because I was hoping they would make it on time and save her.
I really
That's what I
liked her character. I got to say that the killing off of Constance made everything from that point on absolutely worth it. By this time I'm in this show for 3.5 hours, and this the skin in the game is real, and
Mhm.
I think any other person would feel the same way. Oh, 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 oh! Puppy time!
Uh-oh.
Look out, Beans on the march. She's looking for
Oh,
food.
she's so cute, little beagle.
Yeah,
But
she's a fun one.
yeah, she's adorable. But yeah, I don't know. By the ending, the way it ended, I was glad because she deserved to die. The
I
woman
love the ending.
was a horrible, terrible person, and she had caused so much trouble for so many people. She deserved her punishment. And when they all had to rule, when he said guilty, 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 all four of them said she was guilty, and they brought a guy there to chop off her head, basically. And they paid him, and he put on his stuff, and he took her out in the boat across the other side, and chopped off her head, and then he got back in the boat and came over and asked for more money because he said, "I don't, I'm not a what a captain of a boat or whatever." So I thought that was a good line, and you could see that two of them had feelings for her,
Yeah.
actual feelings, and one was already heartbroken from before because he thought he would spend many years with this woman, and the other one was a new blossoming romance, basically, not really, and plus he's a little younger and kind-hearted, that stuff. He still hasn't become the full-fledged killer, that you would think that he would have to become to deal with some of the things that they've dealt with, the betrayals and stuff. But I don't know. I felt for all of them, the two especially. But it was a rough movie to deal with, the sadness of having your heart broken, and giving yourself that I don't know, that there's a place in your heart that you give to someone, and they give it to you supposedly, and then all of a sudden something happens and you find out that the person you gave that to isn't the person that you thought they were, that they basically were lying to you the whole time. And then you realize that, I don't think I'll ever fall in love again, because I don't think I can. I don't want to ever have to go through something like that. And I don't think I'll ever trust another person again the way I trusted before. And it's sad to think about that, especially when other people who've been married for many, many years, like maybe your grandparents or your aunts and uncles or whatever, that were married for 50 years, and that's one thing that you might have looked forward to. And you see that you see that go away when you see Constance die, and she's laying there on the floor in the nunnery, and then the fights that are going on, the other nuns are just cowering and hiding because it's like their home is now filled with the bloodshed. It's to me it was very dramatic, that whole part where all the nuns are running and hiding, and they're all swashbuckling and fighting, and you just see all the people dying and injured and stuff like that, all over this one woman causing all that chaos with all these people, because she's sleeping with so many of them. She uses her body as a weapon in betrayal, and lies to them and tells them that she was there for them, and that and she even uses her Bible and reading a Bible to a guy that she knows is a Christian to get him, and use her womanly ways to betray him, and he ends up releasing her from the prison. So I don't know, it's just disgusting that people do that, and you see it every day right now, on the news, and you find out people are sleeping with spies and selling secrets and all kinds of things by using lust against other people. And it's just really sad. It's really sad that it's still going on, and it's been going on, I guess, since the beginning of time, since Adam and Eve. People use certain things to get what they want from others, and that people still fall for it. And that's what made the movie, to me, the second movie, less lighthearted. It was more realistic. Had a lot of real consequences, showing what can happen when you betray people, especially betrayal of the heart. At least that's how I saw it. What did you think about all that part of it?
I just thought it was a really well done film that that matures. Like, as you watch this movie, you're kind of like D'Artagnan yourself, because you're thinking like the Musketeers are happy-go-lucky people, and they're just doing the king's bidding, and then find out there's a conspiracy. There's a lot of problems going on, and by the middle of the second movie, D'Artagnan is quite becoming the adult that he is, that we see, but he's actually living his maturity as he's watching things kind of just fall by the wayside. I had this idea, I had this idea, but these ideas are now just they were hopes, they were dreams, and now they're battered and broken, and they'll
Mhm.
lay there like the toys that I broke in my childhood, and now I'm an adult. I remember those toys fondly, but I can do nothing. I cannot go back and play with them. And you mature as a moviegoer watching this film, seeing these two movies back to back. This is a full story, and this is really D'Artagnan's story and the story about the Queen and all the problems with Milady, etc., etc. But there's just so much on an emotional scale that goes on. As a viewer, I don't want to try to say this one thing made this for me or this one thing made that for me.
Well, it wasn't really that. It
Right?
wasn't one thing.
No.
It was the fact that this one person had so much impact on so many other people's lives. And basically, um, I'm trying to figure it. She betrayed even the cardinal. She was betraying him. Okay, the one person who thought it was in control, and
Mhm.
each of the people that she used thought they were in control of what aspect they had in their lives. But the whole time, she was the one that was really pushing the buttons and getting things to be done. I mean, she got the Duke murdered, right?
Mhm.
Uh, and she be by in two or three different ways she was able to hurt the Duke. She was hurting the Duke through the Queen, okay, and she was hurting the Duke through the Cardinal, and she was hurting the Duke through the man that she betrayed by lying to him and using him, by using her body and pretending to be a Christian, a good Christian woman that was being betrayed and was only trying to do the right Christianly thing to get him to go and murder the Duke. See, so she was using a lot of people, manipulating them through either feelings, um, uh, blackmail, all the different things that she had at her, disposal. She was using it to get what she wanted, which was revenge on the people she felt had put her in the position that she was in because she hated herself so much. Um,
Do you think it was self-loathing?
yes, I think she hated herself
Okay.
from a very long time ago. Because when you saw the flashbacks and she was married and happy, and he was giving her so many things, and she seemed happy with her life. She wasn't doing anything to people. She wasn't betraying people at that time. But then, as soon as he saw that her past came forward, it changed everything in her life. So then she was heartbroken. She lost everything she thought she had, and then he tried to kill her, and he left her for dead, basically. Well, she wasn't dead, so she took that and tried to figure out how she could use um, what had happened to her now that she's snapped, basically. You know what I mean? She's almost like she became everything she hated, and used that to hurt others.
I think I
That's
think
how I
one
saw
thing about this movie that I'm going to knock this movie on its pacing.
it. Hmm.
The pacing is not what I want it to be. The first movie had a better pace. It felt more breakneck. It's really good,
Hmm.
but this is a film that I honestly feel that the Four Musketeers dropped it down a gear, and it gets more into the characters and their motivations because now we don't have all this introduction bullshit to do. We can just get straight to the story.
Yeah.
But when we do that, you would think the pace would increase or it would have more life to it because we already know what's going on. But instead, we have these bits of slow character development, and we get to see the insides of why is Milady like this? What's going on with the Countess? What's going on with Constance? And we
Hmm.
get so into these characters. There's parts of the movie that are kind of really slow, and I don't know if that's an editing issue or if this was just something that they said it's fine, no big deal.
I don't think it's an editing at all. I think they needed it that way. The slower pace made you have to pay more attention to the details of what was going on because there was so much intrigue,
Very true.
because she was weaving in and out to control what was going on. And she won. Think about it. She won. Even though she ended up dying in the end, she won. She
Yes.
took everything from the queen, the one love that she actually wanted, and she had a chance to be with someone she loved and still be the queen. See what I mean? The duke had everything in the queen, and he was about to go there and get her and have everything he wanted, but it wasn't meant to be, because she was going to make sure that he died, which with whatever means she had left to do. And even when the cardinal said, "I'm not going to play your games, I'm not going to do this and that," he did anyways. She manipulated him. See, she was able to manipulate all these people, and either with sex, um, blackmail, just like I said, or portraying love, that she loved them and that she was going to be doing certain things for them. Uh, Totally opposite of what Constance was. Constance was married. She didn't pretend that she wasn't married when she met D'Artagnan. He knew she was married, but he knew that she wasn't in love with her husband, that she was just married to this person. Now, we don't know why she was married to him, but we knew that she didn't love him. She cared about him, but she wasn't in love with him. She fell in love with D'Artagnan, and she wanted to be with him. And I don't know, she was flawed, but she was still good person, a good in her heart, that she wanted to do the right thing, that type of thing. So that's the difference between Milady and Constance. You could see a huge two different, total different types of personalities and how they treated people, and the status they had in the world, because the queen trusted her too, her dressmaker, with a lot of things, not just certain specialties about her own body, because she made sure her dresses made her look better, right? Also with her feelings, she shared her feelings with her and trusted her, and she could trust her because she did everything and didn't betray her, and the queen didn't betray her either. See, they were like best friends. So I just love the whole thing, and to me the pace had to be the way it was for that story to come out, for you to see it that way. The first movie was more lighthearted and fun, to kind of um, draw you in to the characters and to see D'Artagnan become a man, step into his father's shoes, that whole story. And then he fell in love, his new life, what his new life was going to be like as a musketeer. And I just love that, the way they did it. But it was opening you up for what was really going on behind the scenes with the second movie. That's why I think they had to do it that way. It's just that certain things, like when the scene, like I said, when you have a musketeer who just had sex with a woman, and he's supposed to be in love with another woman, but now because he had sex with this woman, he has feelings for her. You know what I mean? He's still trying to separate, his feelings of how much he enjoys having sex, basically. Because you saw the same thing when he slept with the handmaid, Milady's handmaiden, right?
Hmm.
And it was fun, and he enjoyed it. And they broke the bed. They really put a lot of emphasis on how ravenous they were in the bedroom. I just thought that was adorable, in like what, 10 or 15 minutes. So little things like that. It was still fun, and but it was a lot deeper. It started getting deeper and deeper when you got Milady in there, and you started seeing her weaving these web of lies and intrigue, uh, to rule countries, basically. So I thought that part of it was really good. I wish you hadn't taken away from it by making that one scene just so ridiculous. I just thought it was the scene they could have done without that scene and made the movie better. That's how
Yeah,
I see it.
I won't disagree with that. Um, do you feel like this movie sheds more light on what was really going on in the pages of the books, or do you feel that this movie kind of clouds that?
No, I thought they did a good job at it made it almost seem like it could have happened in real life when it came to the
Could have
intrigue.
happened in our time, you mean?
Yeah, in our time, but also in back then, that it could have really, that kind of thing could have really been happening at the time. Does that make sense?
I honestly feel that this. I might be wrong, but I thought the Three Musketeers was based on actual people around certain events in time,
Yeah, and it
and
seemed like that.
it
That's why the intrigue was so, uh, I don't
so
know.
thick.
Yeah, but not just that. You couldn't help but want to know more, especially when you're reading the book, because you're seeing what she's able to do by using her beauty and her status and her body to manipulate people and get what you wanted, even from the cardinal. Supposedly, she didn't have sex with the cardinal, but she was able to draw him in with the intrigue and what she felt she could give him that he couldn't get from someone else. You see what I mean?
Hmm.
It was very good, and she did a freaking great job getting me to believe that she was doing these things. She was a wonderful actress in this movie. I really enjoyed her. Uh, her mean, horrible character, because when you want to see somebody get what they deserve because they did such a good job, just like what I said in Rob Roy, with the part where he raped his Rob Roy's wife, and she, because he knew it was going to piss him off enough, he's going to come after him. His total attitude toward people, they were just, beneath me, and he did a phenomenal job at making you hate him. And that shows you how good of an actor they are. And Faye Dunaway was kick ass in this part, in this movie, I believe.
I
I
was.
can't. What did she? Was she nominated for an award or anything for this movie?
I don't think so.
Man, I just thought she was good. She was
I thought.
very believable.
Let me look
And
at the
I was
award.
almost applauding when she got her head chopped off. But I didn't have any sympathy for her, even though D'Artagnan did. And that's when he was told, "You have to fight me if you have to fight swords, cross swords with me if you try to stop this." And I love that. I thought that was good. That was very honorable for him to do that. That's, to me, he was the redemption of the Musketeers to me.
Okay, the only thing that this movie won awards wise,
Mm-hmm.
what I'm pulling up is best costume design by Yvonne Blake. Now,
Mm-hmm.
Ron Tulsky also did the costumes, but they gave it to Yvonne Blake because she got everybody except for Constance. Constance was designed by Ron Tulsky.
Mm-hmm.
It was a nominee for best comedy, and it was a 76 winner for the Evening Standard British Film Award for best comedy for Richard Lester. I don't know why. I didn't find this movie that funny. The first movie had a lot of slapstick in it, a lot of humor.
Yeah, I didn't think this one at all was compared uh, to the first one. This
No.
was not as much fun and laid back. Like woohoo, let's party. Have a good time. Flashy. It was the first one was very flashy and fun. This one was not. This was more dramatic and intrigue. The fights there was a couple things that were kind of slapsticky with them, but it was still the tone of the fights were more serious, I felt, in this movie, in the second one, which they needed to have simply for where the story was going as it unfolded. It needed to be more serious, I felt. But yeah, I did read that part. It said the film received an Oscar nomination for Best Costume Design, marking the first time a sequel was nominated while its predecessor was overlooked.
Yeah.
Because I remember I went on and on about the costumes and the design, the set designs, and the scenery. Oh, just I still thought it was beautiful this time. Like the scenes over the ocean, by the water and the castle, looking up at the castle when they were fighting and all that. It was beautiful. And I don't know why, but for some reason, the Duke and his army just seemed more orderly, more flashy, more honorable for their country and stuff compared to the uh, the king and his people, his soldiers and stuff. They just seemed, I don't know. I just didn't think they were as impressive or as proud to serve their king as they were under the Duke. They just seemed more, uh, I don't know, trustworthy or something. The way they presented themselves on screen compared to the king, because they made the king seem like he was a doofus. The people around him, his supposedly most treasured people that he needed, like the cardinal and the few people that he had around him, just seemed like they looked at him like, oh, he's just an idiot. I can just do this and that, and he'll do whatever I tell him to because he's stupid. Nobody seemed to treat the Duke that way. The Duke seemed like his people trusted him. They were willing to die for him, that type of thing. I could see that in this movie more than the first one. But the first one, you could still see most of the people around him. And I could see why the queen, as the story unfolded, respected the Duke and fell in love with him because he was so manly and he was so honorable. He had that, I don't know, he just had this air about him, his character, as it progressed from one movie to the second, and why she would be madly in love with him. Because once you have something like that, it's hard to go back to what, this whatever her husband was now that she was forced to have to marry, but she was miserable. And she, just like he said, well, she won't even join me in my bed. It's because who knows how bad he would have been. There was no romance at all there. So, I just liked it. I thought it did good. And the character, the gentleman that played the king did a good job at playing basically a wimp. Basically, is what he seemed like, a wimpy, not powerful king. He just seemed like a flea or whatever word you want to find for that. Because I'm not going to say nerd, because I'm a nerd and I don't think I'm always a wimp. Sometimes I'm a wimp, sometimes I'm weak, but we're all vulnerable. It's different times in our life, but he just seemed lame all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone took advantage of him because of it. So, like what we just went through with Biden, to me, everyone took advantage of him and put him in that position so they could do whatever they wanted and get the things they needed, because they used the weak person in charge to get things done that they needed done. And everyone and their brother was using him, to sign executive orders or whatever, just to get what they needed. And that's the same thing I saw in The King, in this movie, in the second one especially. He was just a wimp, and everybody took advantage of him to get what they needed by using him. And if he'd been more manly like the Duke, he would have seen it coming. And it was sad. I was hoping he wouldn't die either, but Faye Dunaway was good at what she did. She was excellent at it. And it worked. And she relished in that part of it. That's when you saw her real personality come out. She relished in the people praising her for how well she was able to do it. She didn't even have to go into detail with her lover sitting right next to her about how she had to sleep with this guy, manipulate this guy, like I'm doing you, buddy. Basically, the whole time he's sitting there praising her for being able to accomplish what she did. It was almost like watching the show Game of Thrones or reading those books. It was just like that. That's how I felt. She was able to. She was the one ruling the thrones. It was who did what, because she was using her body and whatever she had, prestige, to get whatever she wanted out of all of it, and then lay back and enjoy the show afterward. And not to tell anyone, because she knew what was going on, and only a few, around her knew what was happening, and she only let in only who she had to be successful. So she was good at what she did, and she did a great job at it, from what I could tell. What?
So I'm looking at a pub,
Mm-hmm.
and this is in Valletta, Malta.
Mm-hmm.
It's 136 Archbishop Street, and they call it the pub. It used to be called Ollie's Last Resort, but now it's the pub. And they really are capitalizing big on the merchandising of Oliver Reed's last stop. Here's a shirt, 8 pints of lager, 12 double rums, 14 whiskey shots, Legend Pub. That's one of the shirts they have for sale here. Um, if you scroll down a little bit more for you to see, this is a place where a destroyer pulled up one day in 1999, and Oliver Reed took off and had a drinking contest. Now, supposedly, he told some of the members of the Gladiator cast that he wasn't going to drink while on set. He only drank on the days that were Friday because he wouldn't be shooting on Saturday.
Yeah.
British actor and Hellraiser, his last drink here at the pub, 2nd of May 1999. Born 13th February 1938, age 61. So they got the pin right there for where you're at. Here's just some memorabilia of the man. And you were asking last time, why would somebody enjoy drinking that much?
Mm-hmm.
Right now, Janet, I'm drinking a mead.
Well,
It
no,
seems,
I didn't mean it that
no,
way.
no,
I
no, no,
meant,
no. I understand what you meant, because you might think like there's something wrong. Why do you drink that much? But this is from the Oliver Winery here in Texas. Is a Camelot mead. It's an orange blossom honey wine. It's $10 at HEB. And a lot of people drink just for the fact that they just pass time, or it's something you can do while we socialize. It's loosening me up right now. It's letting me feel a little bit less stressed about things. Uh, I've got some things going on in my life that I don't really need to rehash here on stream yet again.
mm-hmm.
But I honestly feel that Oliver Reed did it because he was under the gun the moment he stepped off the plane to do the job.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore, drinking would be his only passion he had, because it would be the one thing he'd be able to do as himself and enjoy as himself while he's there on location doing stuff. And I feel that there's a lot of other actors that partook in that mindset. Peter O'Toole being one of them. There's a book we talked about last week called Hellraisers. But I honestly feel that if they didn't have that job, if they would have been 40-hour week wage slaves, they wouldn't have been alcoholics. They would have been just regular men. But because their life was consistently filled with anxiety, and when am I going on? When is this shoot? When do I have to be in for makeup? When can I fucking be myself, take a shit, and not have to have this belt on so tight? And I honestly feel that's why a lot of actors get into the vice, whatever vice it may be. I never watched this movie, but I will now. Jackie, you're missing a great film. It's a great movie. Cardinals portrayed his real power in the film, his sinister machinations, whether it was against foreign influence or his former lover, Anne of Austria. Real Richelieu was a statesman.
Well, what I was saying last week
Constant fault.
was when I read about
Go ahead.
what all he drank the night that he passed away.
Yeah.
That I don't know anything about him because I didn't look it up, but it sounded to me, because I've known a few people that were alcoholics and that also dabbled in drugs, and most of them had problems. They had bad relationships, or their family life was bad, or other things like that. And that's what it really broke my heart when I was reading about it, how he died from having a heart attack from drinking so much. And it was because, to me, I felt like he had some bad things happening to him in his life, and he was sad. And the only way he could get it to go away was to drink these problems away until he just passed out. And he was so handsome and debonair. He seemed like he could have had anything he ever wanted. But that's why I think the part where he was talking about when he realized that she was a prostitute, and that she had not told him, and he didn't know that she lied to him, that he had been betrayed. That's why probably it meant so much to me, because it seemed so real when he was talking about it, that it was believable to me, and that him and Faye Dunaway are the made this movie, made it real to a lot of people, I'm sure, that watched it. I would like to go back and get a chance to get to read a bunch of other people's, um, you know, feelings about this movie, and his part and hers, because that's what made it this movie so good. I feel it was really good. There was just things in it, the way it was directed or whatever, that took it away from it, because this movie could have been so much better, I feel, if they hadn't tried to dumb it down, some of the parts. uh, they did make it lighthearted, but it made it not realistic. It made it not, I don't know, it just took away from it to me. The first one was so good, and I was expecting this one to be at least as good.
I I understand your frustration. I
Hmm.
think the pacing is part of the problem with this, and I don't want to say that the movie need to be longer. I think that because this is before we started making things into mini series or a 10 episode season like what we have
Yeah.
on all of our fucking subscription services. And I just finished watching the second season of Landman, which uh, in a normal universe that would be just one season. It's only 20 episodes, but for some odd reason I'm in Clown World, and that's 2 seasons. I had to wait 3 years to see both, and it was really good. It's an amazing show. It's probably the best show I've seen since The Wire. But I've got to say that my bar is really low because a lot of media sucks.
Hmm.
And I've tried watching Breaking Bad. I couldn't get into it. I've tried watching other shows. Can't get into it. Go back to The Wire. Watch it. Love it. But we have a lot of characters in this story that really deserve their own 30-minute segue, backstory, flashback, whatever you call it. And I think this movie probably would be one of the few films. And when I say this movie, I mean the Three Musketeers and Four Musketeers. I think this would be a lot better suited to a 10-hour mini series,
Hmm.
and I would love to see that. I would honestly love to see it. There's a French movie that came out about the Musketeers and the lady a few years back. There was a two-part movie series, and it looked really good. I haven't had the time to sit down and watch it yet. I will, because there's not much else to watch. I could rewatch things, but I want to watch new stuff. But there's things I haven't seen yet, and we're gonna go down that rabbit hole starting 2 weeks from now.
Hmm.
Oh, by the way, chat, if you've seen this movie, The Four Musketeers, please put your scores in the chat because I'll have Janet read them.
Hmm.
And thank you, Six Nations, 31 Kings, for your additions to the chat because you've got a lot of insights on this movie. You've seen it a lot. It was on AMC quite a bit, I understand. And that whenever you're a young man and you have a night shift job, if you're trying to fall asleep during a day, AMC is on. I get it.
Hmm.
AMC or Turner Classic Movies. Um, I think this movie would have benefited from more time, and I hate even saying that because this movie's pace felt worse than the first, and it's a downbeat movie. You get to see people kind of at their worst. Oliver Reed perfectly plays a man that's troubled by his past, and it's come to haunt him. I think he plays one of the best characters I've seen on movies for
Hmm. I
he
loved him. I thought he was so vulnerable,
yeah.
for someone so strong and powerful, that lived his life on edge, and never knowing if today was his last. He lived his life to the fullest, all of the Musketeers did. That's what I was trying to say earlier about that one scene. This is a young man that was accepted into this group of men that count on each other every day that they live as their protector, basically, to have their back, to have each other's back, to be there in their time of need. Even when they were having the scene, which was so much fun, I absolutely loved it. The scene, the bar scene where they're in there fighting and getting their meal.
Mm-hmm.
Flinging the chickens and the potatoes and the bread. I just loved it. I thought it was fun. But these are guys that rely on each other for survival, and what they do, even though they get paid well, but they drink and party and like women, all those things. But this man, it gave you a small taste into why he became what he was, his character wise. It was a huge character arc for him, that he was once in love. He did fall in love, and he had his heart ripped out, basically, and scarred. He was scarred from it. And he even admits to him, to D'Artagnan, about what he did, that he thought he killed her. He strangled her with his bare hands because he was so mad at her, so angry, felt betrayed because she'd ripped his heart out. And that's how he dealt with it, and then he left and thought she was dead, but she wasn't. So I don't know. I just thought that whole thing was really, really good. And yes, I do think it would be a wonderful series, 4 to 6 episode series that they could write about each of them, how each of them became musketeers, and how they met, and all these different stories behind them, so we could understand each of them and where they came from. Because we got that with the fourth musketeer. We got his story and his character arc, and a little tiny bit of the others, but not enough, not enough that I'd be willing to watch it, to see it if it was told well. But it's going to be hard to beat these four actors. You know what I mean? It'd be really hard, but it could be done. I think it could be tasteful and really good, especially if you get good actors to portray these characters, and a director that loves this story and wants to see it come to life like this director did. I felt, even though there was little things in it that I didn't really like in the second one, that the director really did try to tell the original story, to tell you, the watcher, about how this came about. You see what I mean? I think it was really good. I mean, I really did enjoy it. It was great.
Padre, they are counting D'Artagnan. He's the fourth musketeer.
Because at the end of the first one, he was
becomes,
brought in, become a musketeer.
Six Nations has a review for us right there, Janet. You want to read
Yeah,
it?
it says, I really enjoyed this film. It wasn't the banger that Three Musketeers was, but it's rock solid. Yes, 100%. He gives it a 69 out of 100. Good action, complex characters, but too brief to fully explore the last half of the epic film. Yeah, I do. I wish it could have went into a little more detail, but it would have been longer. See, that was one of the reasons why they ended up making it into 2 movies, is because I could see the director really did want to tell, and the writers that wrote the screenplay wanted to tell the story the best they could, with as much into it as they could. But that one scene in the bedroom with Faye Dunaway, it was like, yeah, they did put too much focus on Faye Dunaway in some aspects of the movie, but it didn't take away from her character at all, I don't think. Even though they put so much in there for her, I think it hurt York's character in that scene, because they made him look wimpy. And they made him look like he wasn't really a musketeer yet. He wasn't qualified to be in the position that he was, because he couldn't even disarm a woman that he just had sex with. Because
He's still trying to gather his mojo.
Just think about this. Put Oscar in that and swap them out. How do you think he would have acted with her in bed if she pulled that dagger out on him?
Probably would have stabbed her, or
Slapped
Covered
the
her head.
shit out of her. He would have
Co-
slapped the shit
Cover
out of her and took this thing away from her
would have covered her head with a pillow, punched the pillow until it stopped moving,
or
and then
something.
yeah,
He would have took,
that's what I
that's what
said.
I'm trying to say. That's all I'm saying is that one scene is what is brought the score down for me because it wasn't believable as a
Wait,
reaction.
what's your score? You haven't given your score yet.
Well, I was waiting for you to give yours because when you
Okay,
said
well,
the down pacing or whatever, I didn't think the pacing was bad at all,
I,
honestly.
I think the pacing's bad because it doesn't really know how to tell a story. There's a lot of characters, a lot of moving parts, and it just the director wanted to tell the story like Alexander Dumas did, but he doesn't really have the storytelling ability that he does. And for those of you that are going to slam me on this is Richard Lester I'm talking about. He gave us Superman 3. All right, now that I said that, this movie for me scores a 65.
Mhm.
It's a far cry from the first movie. It's not bad. It's highly watchable. I will watch it a second time.
Mhm.
I'm just telling you, I'm not going to watch it nearly as fast as I turn around with the Three Musketeers. The Three Musketeers is a banger of a movie, has great slapstick comedy, has good fights, has amazing pacing. Everything in that movie rolls. It naturally rolls. There's very few movies that are from an earlier era that actually make me a Gen X guy that I love films like The Crow and I'll watch shows like Babylon 5, especially season 3, and I think, wow, this is great art. The Four Musketeers is art. It's just not the enjoyable art I wanted to see. I wasn't expecting to see a show that made me fucking want to grab a pint with Oliver Reed and just slam it. Be like, man, that was rough, dude. I'm sorry. And that's what I felt like after it was all over with. After we saw that bitch get executed, I was like, fuck. Damn it. It was good. It was really good. Don't get
I'm not going to be as mean to the movie as you, even though that one scene to me hurt it because it took away from his character as a musketeer. What I
me.
felt a musketeer how he would react if somebody did something like that to him, betrayed him right after they'd been in bed together.
Okay.
Maybe he could made it last a little bit. Took him a little longer to realize it that she really meant what she is and that she was evil. But he just wimped out. To me, that was a wimpy scene for him, and it took it down a notch. Last week, I almost gave it a 10. You know, it's just under a 10. So this week, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. And the only reason I'm dropping it down is because of that scene. The rest of the movie, there was a few things like it seemed like they tried to make the scenes funnier this time, the fight scenes, when they didn't need to. I don't know, it's something about that, but not enough to ruin the movie because the movie to me was still very good. It was just darker. It went deeper into the characters' background of how they were pushing things to happen, and you need that. You needed that in this story. I felt like I enjoyed small touches of historical accuracy in the film. You know, it was like it made me almost believe that this kind of stuff, the intrigue and stuff, was really going on during that time. Possibly, like I was said earlier, but the costumes, the settings, you know, the weapons, the street life, the way the people lived. Like I said from last time about the dog in the street peeing, the horses going to the bathroom, people walking in it. It in the knowing they didn't take a bath, like the one scene when Faye Dunaway has her arm back like this, and he's looking at her and he's grinning, and she has a hairy pit. Her armpit's hairy. So they even kept that detail about what it was like to be a woman back then, you know, uh, to not get to bathe regularly, just lots of those things to me that was very realistic. It was still in this movie. So I like that. But the other part I was going to say was that I know that wasn't really based on real life truth, but I thought it was very close to what the books was trying to portray about the characters and how deep Faye Dunaway I really felt she went way all in for this character and that
Mhm.
she portrayed her to a T. I can't believe she wasn't nominated for something because
Yeah,
I thought she did a phenomenal job. And I thought the
the
movie was
same
really
mark.
good.
I honestly feel that Oliver Reed was shafted for not getting
Yeah.
nominated
Although
for.
he was good too. I mean, both of their characters made this movie to
Yeah,
me.
those
It
those two
showed
films.
you their past romance, the betrayal between the two of them, how they were both. She was mad at him because he dumped her because she was a hooker, before. But she should have been honest about it. She should have told him the truth. If she really loved him the way that he thought she did, she would have told him. See what I mean?
It was only
Before.
one time in college. I've heard that before.
Well, you know what I mean. What I'm saying is they both betrayed each other and both their hearts got broken and they were scarred because of it. And that had affected them for the rest of their life,
Yeah,
basically. And she got what she deserved because not just hurting him, she hurt the countries, two countries, with her betrayal. And the fact that the cardinal got away with so much when he shouldn't have, but nobody trusted him because every single person that he was in private with told him, I don't trust you. You're basically a piece of shit. It's what they were telling him to his face. But he just went on with, oh well, this is who I am and I'm going to do what I want. So
yeah.
basically, he was able to get away with it too. He was just as big a scumbag as she was. Okay, but that was going to end up being between him and God, basically.
I don't know if you guys have a channel that's on a premium membership with YouTube, or if you could do this normally, but
Mhm.
on YouTube movies, under the action and adventure, under the free slots, me and
Yeah.
Janet mentioned it a couple times. There's a French movie came out a few years ago. The Three Musketeers, D'Artagnan, and
Hmm.
Part Two, Milady, are both available right now, no cost to you. Also in the action adventure category is Braveheart, Monty Python and the Holy Grail, The Four Musketeers, which we just reviewed,
Yeah.
Return of the Musketeers, The Three Musketeers from 1948, the really bad one, Oh God, and Saving Private Ryan, along with the 2004 King Arthur,
Hmm.
the 79 movie The Fifth Musketeer, director's
I've
cut
not
of
seen that
Troy.
one.
I've not seen that. I might watch that. Oh, wait, that's a buy. Never mind. These are the purchases. Do not buy Aragon under any circumstances. Save your money, save your time. But
But
up
but I really
until
enjoyed the
Monty
movie way
Python,
more than you did, Bruce.
what?
I guess I enjoyed the movie way more than you did.
It's a good movie. Don't get me wrong. I anytime I get to watch Oliver Reed and pay homage to the man who brought acting to the masses, in my opinion, I feel that he's the Hellraisers. They literally speak to blue collar guys
Hmm.
because
He's
all
a
of us,
phenomenal actor.
yeah,
But he was phenomenal in this movie as his character. It was so believable. I mean, I was rooting for him. I wanted to just slap the shit out of her. You know what I mean? And when she got her head chopped up at the end, normally, Hollywood doesn't like to kill women. You know what I mean? But she deserved it. And I don't see how anyone would leave the movie after seeing it and thinking that she didn't deserve to die because she did. And I was thankful that they had justice prevail, and that's why they were the Three Musketeers or the Four Musketeers. That's what their job was, is to just do things like that. And I wish they could have done it a lot earlier. It could have saved a few people's lives, Constance lives, the Duke's life, and some other things. But you know, it was good. I thought it was exciting. I thought it was full of intrigue, twists and turns, lots of twists and turns. Um, and I just thought it was really, really good.
yeah.
And I still had a hard time though seeing Charlton Heston be such an ass in a movie because I was so used to seeing him and he was always a good guy. So to see him be so evil, it was hard for me to see him that way. But it was a good movie. I really enjoyed it. And I'm so thankful that you wanted me to watch these because I had never seen either one of them, and they were definitely worth watching. They were really good. I enjoyed it.
So
Very well done from
next week
top to bottom.
we have a choice.
Hmm.
We have a choice of either watching Return of the Musketeers, which is a third movie 20 years later or 20 years after.
It's not the same people though.
It is the same people. It's
Oh,
1989.
really?
Same director, same actors.
Comedy?
I don't know. Haven't
Oh,
seen it
I
yet.
haven't seen it.
Or we can watch Waiting with Ryan Reynolds.
Trying to remember if I've
I'm
seen
going
it.
to leave this up to you and up to your friends in the chat. Guys,
I've never seen it, so I've never seen
Make your
either one.
choice.
So it's let the chat decide because I haven't seen either movie. So to me, it wouldn't be fair for me to say, oh, I don't want to see
choices
this or that.
are this. Because this is the last week we get a choice. We either watch Waiting or we watch Return of the Musketeers.
Because I thought we were going to Clint Eastwood.
Oh, that's 2 weeks from now. That's when the choices stop. There's a definite time where those stop, and it's all aboard the railroad, kids.
So you guys, if you've seen either one of those movies, and I haven't seen either one, and you
I've
think
seen
that,
Waiting probably 10 or 12 times.
Mhm.
And
never
if
seen
it was up to Bruce, I would say we're just going to watch Waiting because that's never a bad time. Return of the Musketeers doesn't have as good of a score on IMDb as the last two movies we watched did.
Mhm.
It's in the fives, but
Wow.
we've not seen it. And
Yeah,
I do love me some Oliver Reed and Michael York, and the whole gang comes back. Oh, the ones that survived.
Yeah.
But it'd be worth it either way. So chat, even if just one person makes a comment. I know you lurkers are out there. I know you're out there. What do you want to watch? Do you want to see more Musketeers action?
Let me I'm gonna open up my X and see if anybody's over there. They might say something. Oh, would it come up on your chat here?
I don't know. I haven't seen any
Oh,
X over here yet.
okay. Well, the thing is I got to get the listeners or the people watching to understand that on this program that I'm in right now, it's a special room I'm in to be able to stream with Bruce. I can't chat in here, so I have to open my X and my YouTube just so I can reply by typing. I can't do it on this, so I just want them to know that. So if I don't reply to you, that's why. I couldn't remember if it popped up or not. Shadow and Son said Waiting is hysterical. So I haven't seen either one. So fruit salad. What's fruit salad mean?
Oh God.
What does that mean?
You'll have to see it.
I don't know what it means. So
Okay. Six Nations does not answer with an answer. He's like, oh, either one. Shadow says the definite. That's one vote for Waiting.
So
Go to your Twitter, see what it says, Janet.
Do what?
Go to your Twitter, see what they say.
Well, I'm over there right now. I don't see any comments over there. So just a lot of lurkers, I guess. I get lots of people that just watch and they never say anything. They just watch. So I can't do anything about that. If anybody over here in Twitter wants to see Waiting or what was it?
The Return of the Musketeers.
The Return of the Musketeers. Did they come back and they're all old?
They're 20 years older.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't see how they're going to be able to fight off all them young swashbucklers.
They're not.
So.
It'd be good see how they do.
I thought they'd all retire and have, like 5 or 6 kids or something like that.
5 or 6 baby mamas. What are you talking about?
I don't know. But
salad.
Whichever one. I don't know what fruit salad means. Can you tell me what that means?
No, I'm going to have you watch it, and that way you'll get it.
Okay.
You'll be keyed into it.
See, it made me feel so good when we got to watch Jeremiah Johnson, and then you said, now I know what that meme meant after all these years with him. in it. Remember?
The meme's hysterical.
Yeah, I know. So it is interesting. But I was so thankful that you got to watch that movie because it was something I couldn't believe you had never seen it before. My mother absolutely loved that movie. So a lot of the movies that I've gotten to see because of my mom, like Victor Victoria, things like that, it's because my mom enjoyed those types of movies and she would rewatch them and get us kids to watch them with her if we wanted to. So I got to see some good movies because of my mother. I was lucky. The goat, you bastard. I don't get it. I don't know what that means either. Is that another meme?
Another waiting reference. We got references for the waiting. We're gonna go with the waiting.
Someone said, yeah, okay. Yeah, I was gonna say one person.
We're going with waiting. There's a reason why. It's a great movie. And
who stars in it again?
it is the first
Ryan
major
Reynolds?
film with Ryan Reynolds.
Okay.
You get to see pre-Deadpool Ryan Reynolds.
Hmm. Well, I was pissed when they brought him in to the X-Men series and made him a shitty Deadpool. I got up and left. I left the movie theater because I had Deadpool and cable comics, and I was mad about it. So, because he's the merc with the mouth, and I love that part of it. And he could go.
Hey there, Natasha. How's my favorite miner doing today?
I'm only a minor for another week.
Good answer.
There's a time in life
Hey, man, what's going on?
when you almost have it all figured out.
Did I just wake up and realize I'm a loser?
Yeah, man.
I want to be a teacher, or an electrical engineer, anything.
Hey, could you put down the ice pick?
But until then, all you can do
Order up!
is wait.
Everybody get funky.
Is everything prepared okay?
How about some dessert?
How would you like your steak prepared?
The 5-second rule, the 5-second rule. 2, 3.
We almost had to switch to the 10-second rule.
Most of the guys that work here like to play this little game.
You know the object, right? I mean, if they have the other guy look at your
The brain!
No girl would ever play that game.
Why not?
Because of this!
Ow! Oh, God, it's so angry!
This fall,
All right, men. 0 hour is upon us.
Let us seize the day!
Yeah. Welcome to Thunderdome.
serve it up.
You enjoyed having sex with me.
Once we got past foreplay, you turned into the little engine that couldn't...
Oh, what the?
Dish it out.
You don't get out front and start doing some work, I'm gonna fire you faster than you can say yo MTV raps.
But never
This steak is medium rare. How hard is your job?
send it back.
I'm gonna get this fixed for you right away. It's go time.
The first thing we do is we add a little extra gravy to the mashed potato. Followed by a little garlic salt.
That's gonna make me sick.
Oh, me.
Lionsgate Films presents a comedy about an 8-hour day
We are not having sex in the bathroom.
Come on.
Okay.
and a lifetime of memories.
We need birthday singer! Yeah!
Happy birthday
To you!
Waiting.
I hope you enjoyed everything. I know I did.
Goodbye, monetization. Get
That
fucked,
was
YouTube.
disgusting. That was disgusting.
Yes, that movie, we will be watching that next Sunday. If you want to watch with us, you can ask us. Janet will be more than happy to share her room key with you, and we will go in all together. If you want us to be vocal about it, we'll be vocal about it. If you want us to pause the movie, we'll pause the movie. We got a good crew of people that are operating the projector and love doing this every Sunday.
Yeah. It is fun to get to sit and watch this in Discord.
Janet, I got to ask you a big question,
Mm-hmm.
super question.
Yeah.
How do you feel about your chances in 2 weeks from now?
In my what?
Your chances 2 weeks from now.
For my, oh, you mean during the game?
During the game.
I don't know. I think I'm gonna run out of
You're going to run
spells.
out of the players?
I'm going to run out of spells to be able to heal and do things. I mean, I had used almost all of my channeling and everything by the time we were done and got to leave. So I don't know what's going to happen. Now, maybe if everybody's there, it might be a little different.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to it. This is going to be a badass game, or you guys are going to die.
Well, I've died already once.
No. But when you get to die together, that's when things start over.
Yeah.
So if we have to start over, I'm just going to turn it over to Chris. He can run his Rifts game.
Are you going to play as a character then?
Yeah, I've got a city rat.
Okay.
I've got a guy that already does shit. He's a bum.
Fine. But what I'm saying is, all I can do is just do the best I can to try to stay alive and keep other people alive. That's it.
And for those of you that weren't there yesterday's game was one of those that things kind of went from, hey, you were doing okay, to, oh my God, we're fucked.
Yeah, and I couldn't roll worth the shit.
Between you and Chris and your single digit madness, you guys were completely
terrible.
It was amazing.
I think I need to make enough money
out of 5 dice and I dropped them in my tower and 4 of them were ones. Now, how that doesn't happen to people. That happens to me, but it doesn't happen to most people ever. I mean, it just doesn't happen. I'm just not lucky when it comes to rolling.
No, your die rolls
are shit.
Watching you roll dice hurts me on a.
But when you ask me to roll for someone else, I roll pretty good. It's as soon as it knows it's for me, it goes, fuck you. It's basically what happens every time. So, oh well, that's just the way it is.
It's a good comedy of errors.
But I hope we prevail. I really do. I hope we end up ending the game where we all just kicked ass. I mean, we are all scarred up. We've been brought back to life so many times. We don't really know who we are anymore. You know what I mean? But we did it. And then we kicked the dragon's ass at the end, or whatever it is, the biggest thing that was supposed to, Orcus. We kicked his ass and we're prevailing, I hope. Even if there's only one of us that crawls back to Reem and brings back everybody, but they died helping us, kick his ass. That would be great too. That'd be a good ending.
Well, with
our luck, it's going to be Connell. He'll be the last one left alive, and you have to put us all in the bag and take us back to Reem and bring us back to life.
I'm looking forward to it all. So
we'll see.
I'm just saying that I thought it was rather interesting to see yesterday's turn of events, and everything seemed to run the way I thought it needed to for the narrative. Mm-hmm. I was very impressed that everybody had as good of a day as they did. But when the final curtain call came and you realize, oh shit, Steen's down. Oh shit, half the party's insane.
Yep.
This is going to be a lot of fun to see how this turns out. Anyway, kids, next week we're watching the movie Waiting. Talk to Janet. You can get involved with us and join us in our watch party. We're going to be hanging out there, seeing a fantastic film from 2004.
Mm-hmm.
Next week, Janet will be part of the crew that goes into the whispering depths again and trying to figure out what is exactly going on in this weird dungeon. I'm looking forward to it. I know Janet's looking forward to it as well.
Yep. It's going to be fun.
My name is Bruce, and it's been a pleasure to share this Sunday afternoon with you. We will talk to you again soon. Please, everybody, take care. Take care of yourself. Be good stewards to your family, and we'll see you on Saturday of next week.
Bye, everybody.